video walkthrough on a Heartland Pioneer. We'll start in the back. You are pre-wired for a backup camera. It does not have a backup camera on it. If you'd like us to install one, just let us know and we can try to get that done. It's very simple. And then it does use power from those marker lights up there, so the running lights on your tow vehicle need to be on for that camera to work. Fold down rack, folds down, it's very simple. You pull these pins right here, pull this pin out, do the same on the other side, fold it down. Make sure you repin it in here or else it's going to damage your bumper. And it does have a 200-pound limit minus the spare tire. So a little bit less than 200 pounds. Right over here, cable inlet. If you're going somewhere that provides cable, that's where you can hook it up. Not many places still provide cable, but if you luck out and got somewhere that does, it's going to be perfect. Hook it up through there and you can just watch through the cable. Outdoor shower, hot and cold. City water connection. This is where you hook your hose up to, run off your city water. You won't need to run your pump or anything like that. Black tank flush. You use this when you're dumping your black tank. Got your hose hooked up, all the valves opened up. You can actually hook your garden hose up to here, turn it on. There's a little nozzle in the black tank that'll kind of help flush everything out. That'll keep it from stinking and building residue up on the walls of the tank. 30 amp show cord. This is your show cord. It'll come with a unit. It'll be in the front compartment. And they're about 25-30 feet long. Right over here, got your main dump area. Gray tank on the left, black tank on the right. I always recommend making sure those valves are all the way closed before you take that cap off. And then I always do my black tank first. When that's all the way empty, then I'll do the gray tank. That'll flush out that hose so you don't have to carry around a stinky hose. And then you'll put your hose in your bumper because the bumper caps come off, and that's the perfect spot to store your sewer hose. Your seals on your slide out, every once in a while you're all going to want to inspect them, make sure they're not dry, cracked, getting hard or anything like that. And once a year I definitely recommend doing what's called a slide out maintenance. We can do it, or you can buy the materials to do it yourself. Coming through, nice large pass-through storage. Got a crank. This will usually be for your slide out, backup for your slide out, and your tongue jack. And then you do have another crank right here. That's going to be your manual backup for your stabilizer jacks. And we'll get into more of that when we go on the other side. Up over here, lots of good information. You got your, let's see if we can find it, your VINs there, model number, tire pressure, 65 PSI. That's what you're going to want to use. Excuse me. And here you got cargo carrying capacity and a bunch of good information there. Come around the front, get your battery. It's a Group 24 RV Marine Gray battery. It's a new battery. You don't have to worry about getting it changed. In the winter, I definitely recommend taking your battery out, storing it somewhere warmer than being outside in the winter. And if it's going to be a long time between trips, I definitely just recommend disconnecting the negative lead off of your battery. Your propane tanks. Let's see if we can't. There we go. Dual 20-pound cylinders. They are filled, so you don't have to worry about getting filled. We will actually turn them off now, so you don't have to worry about making sure they're off. Got your automatic changeover regulator, so whichever one it's pointing to first is gonna pull from that tank first. If you were to have the other one on, it'll automatically switch to pulling from the other tank. However, this doesn't move, indicating what tank it's switching to. So keep that in the back of your mind. And then some people have it like that, thinking it's going to pull from both tanks equally. It doesn't work that way. It's one or the other. Got your power tongue jack with a light on it. And then beats hand cranking it every day of the week. But if you need to, you can take this little rubber cap off. There's going to be what looks like a nut in there. That's where you use your manual backup crank in case this jack were to fail. And then you got your 7-way. This will get hooked to the back of your truck. This is what's going to allow the lights on the trailer, the trailer lights to work. And if you have a brake controller in your truck, which you should, because you need one, it'll allow the brakes on the trailer to work. Chains, cross them when you have them hooked up. And then you do have this hooks to your breakaway. This will get hooked up with your truck and everything like that. If it were to come unhooked for any reason, it's going to pull that pin out of the box, activate the brakes on the trailer, keep everyone safe. Right over here, other side of that storage. Get your stabilizer jack. Notice how I said stabilizer jack. They're not leveling jacks. Do not try to pick up the front or rear of the trailer with these jacks. The most it'll do is trip that resetting breaker if you catch it in time. If the breaker were to fail for any reason and you just kept trying to pick the front of this trailer up with that jacks, you might amp out the motor, break the motor. You might end up bending one of the legs. So like I said, they're just stabilizer jacks. Go ahead, extend it. You'll do one. Sometimes the other one will start halfway through. Once one touches, it won't continue to lift. It'll stop until the other one goes. There we go. There's the other one. See how it touches the ground and then stops going? And the other one. And that's all you want to do. You're snugging them down. That's getting all of the shake out of it. It's stabilizing it. If you want your trailer to be level, you use your tongue jack to get it level front and back. And then if you want it side to side, as you're backing it in, you back it under some blocks under your tires on the low side to get it level side to side. If it's a gravel or a grass where you're backing this into, I definitely recommend some blocks underneath these, because even though they're quite a big pad on those, they'll still sink in the dirt or gravel. And then the back ones work exactly the same way. Outdoor power, it is GFCI protected. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit. If one's going to trip, they're all going to trip. And then once we go inside, I'll show you what outlet you reset it at. You have a cable outlet, it also works off your antenna, outside. So if you have like a table, you wanted to set a TV out here, you can totally do that. Freshwater fill, it's gravity fill, it even tells you right here, a bunch of different warning labels. Rest your hose in there, don't jam it in there, because if for any reason this tank vent were to fail and the hose gets sealed in there, you're going to start pressurizing the tank, and that's a no-no. Just rest your hose in there and monitor its progress on the monitoring panel. I definitely recommend draining your fresh tank after every trip, because if you used half of it and there's still half amount remaining and you don't plan on going for a few more weeks, that water is going to sit in there. It'll become stagnant, and it'll be kind of a pain in the butt to flush out. Speaking of draining, that long blue one, that's going to be your fresh tank drain. The other two are going to be your low point drains. Water heater, super simple. Only thing you have to do is put this nylon plug into the hole right there. So you got to start it by hand. 15/16 is the socket size, so if you want to use a socket, I use a socket with a little extension. Ratcheting wrench, snug it down, but don't over tighten it. They do also make a tool. I believe we sell it here. It's more like a box end wrench, and I don't like using it because I always end up like scraping my knuckles all over this. Get the plug in there. As soon as you hook up water to it, turn the water on, it'll start filling, and then you're good to turn it on. Now, like I said, draining it after every trip. Before you drain it, before you take this plug out of that hole to drain it, shut off all sources of water. Crack your pressure relief. Once the water stops sputtering out of here, snap it closed, take your plug out. If you neglect to do this first, you're going to get a bath because there's a lot of pressure in there. And then even a tip, when you drain it out, it'll gurgle. If you open this back up again as you're draining it, it'll come out as a nice smooth stream. And then make sure you clean in here and in here quite regularly. Definitely, I would say probably 4 times a year, every 3 months. Over here, range vent, exterior range vent. Just snap it closed when you're not using it. Open it when you want to have your fan on your range vent running, range hood running, so it has somewhere to go. I always make sure it's closed when I go to bed or when I travel, so it's not flapping around. Fridge, just a vent, just for airflow. Keep it clean in here. A couple times a year, I recommend taking this off and cleaning back there. Furnace, same deal. Make sure it's clean in there. They do make screens for these. That'll keep insects and road debris out of there when you're going down the road. Back door leads to the bathroom, so you don't have to cut through the whole unit camper just to go to the bathroom, which is nice. And then rear stabilizer jacks works the same way as the front one, just the switches sideways. All right, we'll kind of go on to the inside now. We'll start with the bedroom when we go in. Knock that out real quick. Here, light switch for the bedroom right here. You do have a light above the bed. You turn on and off there. Fairly simple in here. You have an outlet over there and an outlet over here. Plenty of storage in here. A spot to mount TV. Just feel around. You'll be able to feel like that's solid right there. That's where you kind of want to mount it. When your wall starts flexing in areas, that's you don't want to mount a TV there. Coax outlet, regular outlet right there. This right here, emergency exit, super simple to use. Lift up like this. Push it out. You can use it as a regular window by setting it down like that. If it were to be an emergency, push this all the way out. Grab it right here. Pull the screen off and then jump out the window. You do have some storage underneath your bed too, as well. And then your door right here. It's very simple. Make sure you undo it. Just slides. When you do travel and transport this, make sure you do latch it open so it's not swinging freely. Another spot to have a TV in here. Coax outlet here. This is your booster. If you're going to use your antenna, make sure that's on. If you hooked up the cable, turn it off. Got a radio right below that. Power button for the radio. These buttons right here. So it's labeled band, so you can use that. Tap it to scroll through FM, AM, and all that. Mute button. Tap it to hit mute. But if you see right there, it says zone 1. If you press and hold it, it turns zone 1 off. Zone 1 is inside. So now just zone 2 is on. So it's just the outside speakers. And then it's vice versa. You can have just the inside ones and the outside ones off. You can have them both on if you wanted. Scroll through your channels here. Cycle through your modes. So you do have Bluetooth on there. You would get to Bluetooth music. Look on your phone for Xera. That model number right there. Sync your phone up to it. Go back to radio. You do have an auxiliary port right there and then a USB port right there. And then 2 more USB ports right underneath it. Come over here. Controls for your slide out. So that moves your slide in and out. This right here. Main lights in here. The other one will be your awning lights. Then you have your controls for your awning right here. So down is out, up is in. And they are adjustable. You can see there's a little pin detent. You squeeze those pin detents. There's one on either side. Pinch them in. And you can push and pull the arm to pitch one end of the awning up or down. So if it's raining, you can have water pitch off to the corner rather than all the way along the edge. If it does start storming really bad, roll your awning in. You don't want us to have to replace your awning because of a large gust of wind. If you roll it in wet, as soon as you get the chance to, roll it back out, let it dry off. They do not automatically stop when you're rolling them out. You have to visually look out for it, and they do not automatically roll in when they sense wind or anything like that. And then you are partially wired for the WineGuard Wi-Fi extender. So if you want to have that, you'd have to have us install that, and then you can hook it up through there. Controls for all your monitoring, so you can monitor your battery. Your battery is always going to read full when you're plugged in. You got fresh, black, and gray. That's just testing. We'll have to dump the water out of there. Then you have controls for water heater and electric, gas, and then your water pump. If you need to use your fresh tank, you pull from your water pump. You can run electric and gas at the same time if you want. However, if you are going to use electric, make sure there is water in it. Then you have some light switches right here. This one will do LED lights underneath the trailer. This one does LED lights above your slide out. Couch right here turns into a bed. Lift up underneath. It's a jackknife couch. You have storage underneath. Lay it down flat for like a bed. You got another emergency exit back there. Open those handles, the window will pivot, and you'll be able to escape from there. The centerpiece does fold down with lighted cup holders and then USB ports in each cup holder. This as well turns into the bed. You lift the table up, pop them legs off. The table will rest on these little shelves here. Take the back cushions, lay them on there. Creates a nice platform to sleep on. And then each light in the slide out is controlled at the fixture itself. Come over here. Microwave. It looks like your standard household microwave. It only works when you're plugged in. And then you have your light for your range top. Fan. Remember, if you're going to run that fan, make sure that vent on the outside is open. Folding cooktop right here. Super simple to use. Turn this to light, and then you twist your sparker, just like that. You do that same for all three, and then your oven works a little differently. Your oven does not light from the sparker. So you turn this to pilot on, push and hold. As you're pushing and holding, there's a little pilot in there that you have to light. Once it's lit, then you can change this to whatever temperature you want. Now, if you're going to cook again and you don't feel like relighting that pilot, if you turn it off but turn it to pilot on, it shuts the burners off, but it leaves the pilot on. That way you don't have to relight it. However, I seriously recommend that you turn it all the way off before you go to bed, because you don't want a lit pilot overnight. Here, you got your manuals. Anything that was installed in here, there's a manual for it. And there'll be kind of a broad Heartland manual for the whole trailer. Fridge, super simple. On or off. Excuse me. Excuse me. On or off, auto or gas. I just recommend leaving on auto. Auto will default to 110, so if that's what it's got, that's what it senses, that's what it'll run off of. If someone were to trip over your short cord or you were to lose power at the campground, it'll automatically switch to running off of propane for you. So that's nice. Now, these don't work like your normal fridges at home. They do take about 8 to 10 hours to get to operating temperature. So keep that in mind. Right over here, breaker box. All your breakers for your 120 volt appliances. All your fuses for your 12 volt appliances. Then you have 240s right there. The rest are 15s. Definitely recommend carrying a box of spare fuses. And right below that, RV carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm. So if there's ever a leak with either of those two, that'll alarm for you. You do have your thermostat. Tap it. First, it'll ask what fan mode you want, auto, high, or low. I recommend auto. It's going to allow whatever you're using to cycle on and off to its set temperature. Tap it again. You have your AC. Your AC goes all the way down to 55. And then let's just say, drop it down all the way to 55. There you go. Tap it again, goes to your furnace, and then your furnace goes all the way to 90. Pretty simple. These are pretty simple. The only thing I like to tell people is it can be a little finicky sometimes. If you accidentally hit up and down at the same time, switches to Celsius. So just tap them both again. It goes back to Fahrenheit. Two bunks here, light switch for the outlet on the top. The other light you click on and off at the light itself. You got an outlet up here. I don't believe this one has an outlet down here. No. This top bunk does have a 200-pound capacity, so keep that in mind. Get a ladder to get up here, which is nice. Some of them don't have ladders to get up. Although, as you can see, don't forget your ladder is out when you close your slide out. Alright. We'll come on into here. Your bathroom is super simple. Got a light switch for the switch for the fan, and then light switch right here. If you're gonna run your fan, make sure obviously that the lid is open. I definitely recommend running it when you take a shower. You don't want these moisture to stick to the walls. And then hot, cold. If you're gonna divert it to your shower head, turn these on, lift it up, diverts water to the shower head so you can take a shower. The toilet's very simple. As long as you're pushing this pedal, it's just gonna keep flushing. Sink, very simple. Nice medicine cabinet. This is the one that has the reset button. So if any of the GFCI outlets were to trip, this is the outlet you come and reset it at. Alright. Well, that concludes our video tour of your Heartland Pioneer. I hope you guys found this video informative. I hope you guys get lots of good use and really enjoy using this trailer. And goodbye.